last chance. No beating around the bush.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Blake Production.
Alright, let's do this. So I want to go over the overall market here, and then in the next video I want to go over just like 5 tech stocks that I think are interesting and shaping up. So we're looking at the S&P 500 here. Now everything is still intact in my opinion, right? Of course my opinion could be wrong, and I'm fully aware of that. But what I'm seeing here personally is we have this massive pattern and we get that breakout, right? This is like 10, 11 straight days of pretty much going upward. Now, after those 11 days, people get mad euphoric, not thinking about running right back into this major zone. So we run right into this zone, and now it's been a consolidation period. And all we're looking for is a weekly higher low. So this might take some time. We've got this sort of pattern going on where if you look at the weekly time frame, it might need to take time. So like look at this here, right? This is a higher low that's happening right back over here. This is back in September 2021. This took like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Now, if we're counting from the very top, right, it's been 1, 2, 3 weeks. This might need more time to get that curl upward again. But overall, I'm looking for a very similar type of motion where we had that big drawback and now we come up and we're looking for that quick higher low. All it's doing is it's essentially indicating that there's going to be a reversal in the trend, that we are now going to push closer to the upside. So again, if this higher low is created, we are then going to look to weaken this zone again and then eventually break up over it, right? I had something like this in my last video where we break up over it, back test, and then we break out. So it might take a little while, which is completely cool. In the meantime, there's a bunch of names that could potentially be setting up. Now, if we're looking at it from the bear perspective, right? Let's not always be so bullish, Noah, man. You're always bullish, bullish, bullish. That's fair. I'm way too optimistic to not be bullish. But like, if we're looking from a bear perspective, we'll zoom into the 2 hour. And what I'm looking at specifically on the 2 hour time frame is just a couple zones. It's this zone right here. Are we going to break up over that zone? Or are we going to get stuffed, right? That would indicate that this little 2 hour downtrend, right? We start from the high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. This 2 hour downtrend would continue if we get stuffed in that range. Or we could continue to play sideways between 4,300 and 4,450. So I'm watching that zone, and I'll also be watching for, if we do get the breakout, are we going to get stuffed in this area, which is the 45.20 range. So there's just a few areas I think that if we can beat these, we're going to be weakened in this zone for sure. This is the 4,600 area. So in my opinion, the S&P looks nice. I like the way it's looking. I like the way it's shaping up. It might seem off. I still, in my opinion, like when I just ask random people about the markets and stuff who are like not really paying attention on a daily basis, everyone's still bearish. Like most people I talk to are like sketched out by the markets right now. But I think that's what's going to create the opportunity for us to go to the upside, because the ones who know what's like setting up and the ones who are more in it are going to seize the opportunity when it comes, where the people who aren't, they won't even be looking, and then the chart will do its thing, eventually break in higher highs and higher lows, completely changing the trend, and then before you know it, we're going to be at new all-time highs. That's just my opinion. Again, bearish standpoint, what, like people are saying that this is an inverse head and shoulders, right? People are like, hey, like this could potentially be an inverse head and shoulders, and in my opinion, I don't think so, just because there's no clear neckline. It's not like the cleanest pattern. Like there's no clear neckline, right? So right now, the most bearish thing that could happen is what we fizzle out and we retest where we were back in the beginning of March. Like, in my opinion, that would just make things more bullish. I don't think that's going to happen, but if you want to see what a proper head and shoulders pattern looks like, we'll look at the Nasdaq. We have an inverse head and shoulders. So when we're looking at the Nasdaq here, you see the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. This is the neckline. It's clear that this is the area that we're looking for to break above. So we'll be watching this in the next few weeks. Is this the higher low? Is this the area where we're basing at to create that right shoulder of this pattern? It looks very clean right now. It might need a bit more time, of course, but is that what's happening? So that's what I'm going to keep an eye out. Again, the bearish perspective here on the Nasdaq is that we got a bear flag, which would indicate that we're going to the downside. Same thing with the S&P. There's another bear flag shaping up. So I don't want to rule that out and just be like, yeah, we're bullish, send the markets, and then, you know, we come back to retest where we were at the beginning of March. So patience is definitely required, and I think patience is definitely the move to be, like, let's just say this, like right now I'm not fully trading. I have 2 stocks or 3 stocks that I'm holding, and I'm just waiting for the go ahead that the markets are fully in a trend change motion, that like things are for sure in an uptrend. Because right now, over the past like 6 months, right, since the beginning of mid-November, late November, it's been like what, 4 or 5 months, it's been chop city, and some would say bear market, right? But like, it's patience, right? We had all this time coming up into, it's like pretty much 2 years almost straight of pretty much everything going up. Of course we need time here. So I'm playing it mad safe. I have Galaxy, I have DeFi at like really decent prices. I think like I'm in Galaxy at like $15, and I'm in DeFi at like 150, and those are like my long-term or more long-term holders. Galaxies I'd consider long-term. DeFi I'll probably be looking at selling mid-year ish, but overall I'm not trading on a week to week basis because the market isn't providing that opportunity for me. So this is why I'm watching the markets and waiting for that opportunity, because once I get the go ahead, then I could pull the trigger. I hope that makes sense for those who are curious to know. But yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Big picture, this is what I see in the markets. It could take a little bit more time, but overall I'm leaning towards that. So that's the little breakdown here on the overall markets piece.